For more than 2 decades, Rachel Zoe and Rodger Berman were seen as one of Hollywood's most enduring power couples. They didn't just walk red carpets. They defined what fashion-forward love looked like. But on July 22, 2025, in a development that sent ripples through the entertainment and fashion industries alike, Rachel Zoe officially filed for divorce. The style icon, whose name is synonymous with red carpet glamour and bohemian luxe, brought her 26-year marriage to a quiet but poignant end. What seemed like a perfect partnership, one rooted in love, loyalty, and matching black sunglasses, has now been filed away under irreconcilable differences. And while the split may appear amicable on paper, those who have followed the couple for decades know this wasn't just a breakup. It's the end of an era in Hollywood-style history. Let's step back and understand the gravity of this moment. Rachel Zoe and Rodger Berman weren't just spouses. They were business partners, co-parents, and pop culture staples. They were introduced to the world through the hit reality series The Rachel Zoe Project, where viewers got a front-row seat to both Zoe's fashion empire and the couple's intimate, often chaotic home life. Rodger, with his business-savvy demeanor and ever-patient presence, was the perfect foil to Rachel's high-strung, couture-wrapped energy. They bickered, they bantered, but they always found their rhythm again, like a perfectly tailored Chanel jacket that somehow fits just right. But in the years since the cameras stopped rolling, something began to shift. The last time Rachel and Rodger were photographed together publicly was at a Beverly Hills gala almost a year ago. Even then, industry insiders noted the chill in their body language. No hand-holding, no exchanged glances, and a noticeable emotional distance between the once inseparable pair. Rumors had been swirling in quiet corners of the fashion world for months, but Rachel, ever the professional, continued showing up, styling A-listers, launching collaborations, and walking through airport terminals like they were runways. So when news broke that Rachel had officially filed for divorce, the industry gasped, and then whispered finally. The couple, who share 2 sons, Skylar 13 and Caius 10, are reportedly seeking joint custody, a move that suggests a respectful co-parenting plan rather than a legal tug-of-war. Rachel is not requesting spousal support and is reverting to her maiden name, a gesture that's both symbolic and empowering. It says, "I'm stepping into my own again, even after decades of partnership." And perhaps that's the most interesting part of this whole unraveling. Rachel Zoe, the woman who built a fashion empire by perfecting other people's images, is now in the process of redefining her own. She's no longer just Rachel Zoe Berman, the wife. She's reclaiming the name, and maybe even the identity, that launched her as a fashion force in the early 2000s. Those early days were, honestly, just heady. Zoe rose from magazine stylist to red carpet oracle seemingly overnight. Her clients, Nicole Richie, Lindsay Lohan, and a pre-2007 Britney Spears, became the blueprint for boho glam fashion, all draped in oversized sunglasses, furry vests, and enough gold bangles to weigh down a wrist. But behind the scenes was Rodger, quietly handling operations, finances, and, well, all the chaos that came with managing a multi-million-dollar brand tied entirely to Rachel's face and name. They were a unit, yin and yang. Rodger even left his own job in banking to help manage the Rachel Zoe empire, a move that many lauded at the time as a sign of deep, selfless support. But over time, as Rachel's name outgrew the both of them, the dynamics began to shift. Sources close to the couple suggest that the separation last year was a long time coming. They've lived somewhat separate lives for years, one insider shared. Rodger wanted more time at home, more privacy, and less of the limelight. Rachel thrives in the spotlight. It's where she comes alive. And while there's no cheating scandal, no dramatic blowout to dissect, the words irreconcilable differences say more than enough. They hint at 2 lives that no longer overlap. 2 people who grew in parallel until their paths finally diverged. Interestingly, Rachel has made no public statement about the filing. No Instagram post, no tearful podcast confession. Just a court document, quietly submitted. Clean, precise, and no doubt edited with the same attention to detail she gives to her clients' Met Gala fittings. Rodger likewise has remained silent. The man who once played second fiddle to Rachel's towering heels and towering ambition is now stepping out of her frame, no longer part of the picture, literally or figuratively. But fans are still left wondering, what happens to the Zoe report? What about their joint ventures? Will Rodger remain a silent stakeholder in her businesses, or will this divorce mark the end of their professional ties too? It's too soon to tell. What we do know is that Rachel's brand is, as always, evolving. In recent months, she's teased a new fashion line, expanded her luxury home decor collaborations, and even returned to the red carpet as a guest, not just as a stylist. It's clear that she's stepping back into the light in her own name, on her own terms. And it's hard not to be struck by the parallels between Rachel's career and her personal life. She built her empire by giving women the confidence to be seen, to own their beauty, their eccentricities, their sparkle. Now she's turning that same energy inward, reclaiming her story. She's not hiding from the narrative, she's rewriting it. Will the divorce sting? Absolutely. You don't spend 3 decades with someone without leaving pieces of yourself in their hands. But Rachel Zoe is no stranger to transformation. Reinvention is her bread and butter. What comes next may be her most authentic look yet. In a world where celebrity breakups often descend into chaos, headlines, lawyers, betrayals, Rachel and Rodger's split feels strangely classy, muted, mature. And maybe that's what makes it all the more heartbreaking. There's no villain here, just 2 people who gave it everything and then realized it wasn't working anymore. The fans, meanwhile, are split. Some are mourning the end of an iconic love story. Others are cheering Rachel on, seeing this as her renaissance moment. And in the comments of her latest Instagram, a chic flat lay of fall boots and a vintage Celine bag. One fan wrote, "Here's to walking into your next chapter like a runway." And really, isn't that the Rachel Zoe way? She may have closed the curtain on a marriage, but the spotlight hasn't dimmed. If anything, it's just shifted. No longer on a couple, but on a singular woman, stepping into the next act with grace, grit, and a damn good wardrobe. Love Hollywood stories with real emotional depth? Subscribe for more breaking celeb drama, fashion power moves, and the behind-the-scenes stories that really matter. Rachel Zoe's journey is just the beginning. Don't miss what's next.